This video is about the death of Paul Walker. Somebody emailed me, let me know about this information. I didn't know nothing about it until I got this email from this guy. And Paul Walker is one of the starring actors for the Fast and Furious, series. And basically, what happened was he just was in a Porsche with one of his friends, and his friend was driving like really fast and crashed the car, and they both died in there like instantly, pretty much, almost instantly or whatever. I mean, they were going so fast that the car pretty much exploded, and upon impact hitting something, and it burst into flames, and they both died. They were both trapped up in there. And I want to make several videos about the incident, because this guy that sent me the information was asking me several questions about it in comparison to my thoughts in relation to the MMA and drag racing and things like that. But just talking about his death in particular, I think that, of course, it's a sad thing, but one thing that I noticed that's kind of sad too is that everybody's talking about his death. Nobody even cares about the other guy. And why is that? Well, just because this guy is famous. You know, he's been in movies. And everybody's focused on Paul Walker. Nobody even knows what the other guy's name is. They don't even care about the other dude. But he died as well. But he was the driver, and he's the one who's responsible. So that makes it even worse. But, it's just noticing like how the world is. It's like they don't give a damn about you unless they know you. If they don't know you, if you're not famous, then you die. You're like a cockroach that dies, or like an ant that dies. Nobody even cares. And it's like what's so special about Paul Walker compared to the other guy that died with him? Well, it's just because people know him, right? And everybody's talking about his death and crying and all this other stuff. And all it is just fame. Just because this guy's been in a few movies, all of a sudden everybody cares. But then the other guy hasn't been in any movies, nobody gives a damn about him. So I see that's kind of the type of society we live in right now. Alright, so I see that. Another thing is the whole thing about driving so fast is extremely dangerous. But I'm gonna talk more about that in another video. But as far as what I noticed about this is just, you look at it. He was Paul Walker was the passenger of in the car. He wasn't even driving, and it just shows you like how when you're sitting in a car with somebody, you're pretty much trusting them with your life. And they're in control, and they could pretty much. It's like they could pretty much take away your life right there by their negligence. And that's pretty much what happened. But it's kind of like going into airplane. You're told you have trust in the pilot that he's gonna fly correctly, so then you're safe. In this instance, you got your friend driving, and he put your life at risk, and then now he ended up taking away your life because of his ignorance and his negligence. So just that alone, you could have learned a lot from that. You could see that, hey, maybe I should pick my friends wisely. Because if my friend is negligent when he drives, or he drives while he's drunk, or he's just irresponsible when he drives, that's putting your life at risk. And just imagine this, you're Paul Walker, you've been in all these movies, you have all this money, and then because your stupid friend wanted to drive so damn fast, now you're dead because of him. I think that, we have to choose our friends very wisely, and when we choose our friends, it's important that they're responsible individuals, because their irresponsibility as in this instance, in this case, it led to the death of himself because of this person's irresponsibility. You know, and when somebody's driving so fast and you're in the car, I mean, you should be telling them to slow down. You know, and or you just get out the car, just don't even drive with that person again. You know what I mean? But Paul Walker himself was, you know, a fanatic about car racing and driving fast himself. So I'm sure he didn't discourage his friend from driving fast in any way, shape, or form. But I'm just saying, you know, you put your life with, you know, in the trust of somebody else's hands, and look what happened. You know, like even recently, somebody that I was training, you know, was in a motorcycle accident, and the person, you know, she was a passenger. You know, she wasn't even the driver of the motorcycle, and they got in an accident. She got hurt. They both got hurt. You know, it's like things like this. You know, I think we could learn a lot from it as far as like being aware of like who we spend our time with, and you know, when you're in a car with somebody, just you should only be in a car with the responsible people. And this also goes, you know, it's also something that parents could learn from as well, because if you send your kids off, you know, into somebody's car and the person's not a responsible driver, next thing you know, all your kids could be dead because of that person that was irresponsible in driving. Another thing that I think, you know, that I learned from it is also, I mean, not learn, but basically observe, is that, you know, both of these individuals just didn't appreciate their lives. I mean, they're rich. They're both rich, but Paul Walker was the one that had fame, you know. The other guy was just rich. He didn't have fame, but Paul Walker's rich and famous. And look at how he just threw his life away just like that. I mean, he just was not being safe, you know, and he just took his life for granted, you know, just was not being safe, and just basically now his life is over because he didn't appreciate his life. If he appreciated his life, he'd watch out for his safety, but clearly he didn't care about his own safety. The car is valued at, you know, is worth $450,000. It's a $450,000 car, you know, and that's what they're rolling around in. And they're rich. They're both rich. This, you know, Paul Walker's famous, and they just don't give a damn about their safety. And look what happened. They don't appreciate their lives. They just threw their lives away. And hey, you know, I don't really feel bad for them that they made that decision on their own. I mean, there's people out here where I work that get shot all the time. There's people getting shot on the streets. Nobody knows about. They're not famous. They're not rich. Nobody. They just pass away, and nobody even gives a damn. They just died on the middle of the sidewalk, getting shot. And hey, you know, it's messed up. But this person, he's rich and famous, and he didn't just get shot by somebody. He made stupid decisions that he didn't care about his own safety. So that's what happens. So I think that, you know, that's something that we should all learn from, is that we shouldn't take our lives for granted. We should watch out for our safety and take care of ourselves, and don't make stupid decisions in life.